So I've had this tank set up for a good while now. Recently I moved all the fish over into the tank next door. It's not looking anywhere near as good as the other tanks on the top row, and I really want to do something completely different. It's got this really weird fluffy algae that's not kind of green. It's not dead either. I could get rid of it, but I just didn't bother because I know that I wanted to do something different. There's still some fish in here. There's still a mama endler guppy, and there are a couple of babies dotted around as well. So I'll get those out, move them across, get this all cleaned up and looking sparkly again, and then we can start something great. So usually at this point we can carry on with the build, but I want to do it a little bit different. All of these backgrounds up here have either got no background on or a light background. I've got like more of a sort of browny tone, more natural vibes with the middle tank. So this one, because we're going for, I haven't even discussed the concept yet, but I want to go for kind of a Brazilian style, lots of rock work, but also, usually when you do lots of rock work, you have like Iragumi style, which has one colour sort of carpet, you know, green, either a grass or a Monte Carlo, maybe some different textures. I'm going to do a similar sort of style, but with all of the stem plants and all of the colours. So I think that'll just look really good, completely different to anything else in the studio and in this section. But in order to do that, I'm going to take off the black background, which was painted on, which is not a problem at all. You just get a razor scraper, it comes off super easy. And then I've got a nice light background to go on. I'm going to do a little bit of a blue tone, because like I say, that one's kind of browny and natural. This one's not going to look natural, but it should look fantastic. Yes, I've 's probably wondering what I'm doing. This is my secret light store, and I did not know where that went, so that's good. We've got a level now, Steph. This is a twin star light. It was like their sort of budget-friendly range, but I know it's going to give really good lighting for what we're after, with all the colours popping. Well, I must have like that. I don't have to anymore, do I? Yeah, it's going to make the colours pop a lot better, so I think I'm going to go with this one.
All right, then.
Got it. Oh, I just put the plug in the bucket. Right, let's have a little comparison. This is the superfish light. Oh, that's supposed to do that. This is the superfish light that's on there already, which is great light. It's kind of just a single colour LED, 6,500 Kelvin LEDs. Whereas this one, the Twin Star one, has got like a few other colours in it. I'll just test it out. I think it's got like red and blues in it as well. So if I just turn off the... That's not it. That's not it. Where are you? I don't even know where it's going.
In your own time.
Oh, there it is. Found it. There you go. And then this one is more... There we go.
Oh, yeah.
So you see what I mean? It's got blues, greens and red LEDs in it as well. It's got more of a purpley tone. Is that coming across on the camera?
Yeah, yeah.
Do I want that, though? It's one of those. We can just...
Build the scape and
build
then...
the scape and then see. I think we'll build it with white and then see how it looks with the different colours on it. Because at the moment, I don't like it, but I know it looks different when it's got everything else in there. Plus the light background will make a difference as well, won't it? Mm-hmm. OK, cool. OK, you're a maybe, so we'll store you over here for now. I don't know if I'll use that filter we just took off because, you know, see how well this one works. There's no scum on the surface. I like the little loopy bit.
And that's the superfish one?
Yeah, superfish one. And, yeah, it goes on the side, light background. Yeah, I think it just works. Probably go with that. So the filter I just took off was like a black one and everything, which works on a black background. But this one has got like the clear pipe coming in, stick it on the side a bit bigger, works really well. So I've got another spare one. I think I'll stick that on this side. Look at these pretty little curls. Now the thing is, I only go up to the edge like that to start with, because when I start running it over the edge, it blunts the blade a bit. So I'll just do the edges at the end.
Delicate work there.
It's acrylic, just normal acrylic. Oh, normal acrylic paint. Obviously, it dries as a plastic, so that's why it's coming off in like one smooth amount. It's probably about 4 layers on here. I have and I use a roller, so each layer is the same thickness. I've had done it with a paintbrush before, but you have to put so much on, and trying to get it off then is actually hard. So this is just nice and easy.
I'm multitasking.
So just while I'm creating the tank, I'm just going to keep it as the white background, and then we can add a pop of colour if it suits later on, because you can do like a fade of blue at the top, orange or that sort of thing, but we'll save that for later if it's needed or if I want to do it. So I've got a plan in mind. My plants haven't arrived yet. They should be arriving anytime soon, so hopefully they do, and then I can crack on. So for the planting for this project, I have just received a parcel from denla.co.uk. I ordered it yesterday. It's arrived today. So 1-day delivery, you cannot beat that. But let's take a look at what I've ordered. Even though it was yesterday, I got a bit excited and just started clicking everything. So I can't completely remember what I've got. So they're all in vitro. I just love the fact that I could order and they turn up, because I'm so unorganised and I want stuff straight away. Oh, hydrocotyl tripetita. Yeah, so as you can see, I got a little bit excited and just kept clicking the buttons, add to basket, add to basket. So here we go, a little bit of an overview of what I've got. I have got Amazon frogbit, not had it for a long time. I've got one of my absolute favourite plants, where is it? Again, not used for a long time, Blixa japonica. It's such a nice plant. You can't really see a lot at the moment, we're going to soon. There is a lot of foreground plants. I find that if you get the in vitro version of foreground plants versus a potted, you get way, way more for your money. So I've got 5 Monte Carlos, 5 Eleocharis, so hairgrass. I've got 3 of the Anubias barteri nana, cool little plant. Then I've got the coin version as well. I've got 2 different types of buses. I've got Glossostigma, Liliopsis brasiliensis, Areocolon. I've got so many good plants here to be able to create an amazing foreground. I am going to need some stems as well, which I've clearly forgotten, but it's the morning, not a problem. I'm going to order today and hopefully they'll be here tomorrow. Right! It's the next day and yeah, more plants arrived. I also ordered a load of soil and stuff like that as well, because I thought bump it up a bit. But yeah, so I've got all the stems in here. Yeah, so we've got some awesome S repens here. One of my favourite little sort of foreground to medium ground, mid-ground, that's it, mid-ground plants. I have got Rotala, rotundifolia, HRA as well. Already got some nice pinky ready bits on the top. Great use of cardboard packaging as well from Denla. These are also recyclable. But what else have we got? Rotala, rotundifolia green, Hatonia palustris. I haven't used this for a long time. I got Rotala macrandra as well. It's an advanced plant, but I found if you can get the lighting right, it will still grow really well in a low-tech scape. We're going to give it a go anyway. So yeah, we haven't got a huge amount here. What we've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 pots. It's a decent amount actually. But you'll be surprised how much coverage one pot gets. It's all compact in there, break it up in small pieces, it goes everywhere. So we are sorted for plants. Towel. You can never have enough towels. And paper bags, great. No, this is, I know what this is. So this is like a rich soil substrate that goes underneath either sands, gravels. You can even put it underneath of the axle as well. So I've never used this. I'm intrigued to give it a go. 2 of those bad boys. Won't need 2 for this whole project, but I thought I might as well just order 2. And then we've got the aqua soil as well. 2 bags. That's going to be plenty for this scape. I probably only need 1. So before I put in my aqua soil and my substrate layer, I want to build up the back a little bit because we want a high slope for like mountainous rocks going in this tank. So yeah, you can bulk it up with anything. I've just got some old pebbles or substrate, pour it in. Ooh, it's cold. So we built our height there. Now, like it's quite a steep incline. Now the soil goes on top to make it even steeper. You can argue that the soil will try and migrate right forward. We're going to have so much planting over everywhere, the roots will just sort of lock it all in place over time, and it does take time for it to migrate forward, so by that point, hopefully it doesn't move. And also we're going to have lots of cereal stone, you know, plonked in that gives it an anchor as well. So obviously I poured a lot of soil in there, and we don't want it this thick at the front. We do need a good amount at the front, so more like that sort of level, so that the roots have actually got a decent area to bind into, but also for us to be able to plant into. Now I'm not going to mess about this too long because it's all going to move as I put rocks in, and I'll have to do it again anyway. So, but
Nice looking soil.
Yeah, it does. It looks good under the light. Without any light, it's just black, isn't it? But so basically, it's like little balls of soily clay, and then they bake them, and then it keeps them hard underwater. But if you add water to it, you can mush it up and make a proper soil, which is good for other applications as well, but not this one.
Delicious.
Applications. So we're at the hardscape area. We've got a selection of rocks here. We've got your standard cereal stone. We've got your dark cereal stone, which is basically the same, but it's been chemically treated, so there's a lot more sort of darker pieces on it. And that's naturally occurring on the rock as well.
What, that label?
Yeah, which now doesn't come off. Oh, if you want any hardscape or anything, all this stuff, everything you can see here is from Aquarium Gardens. You get it in the link. I use them all the time. Known Dave for years. He's great. So obviously we've got this style, which is more like kind of dramatic and harsh. Then we've got Galapagos stones here, which you've got more of a rounded look. That might be quite a cool look. A little bit different. But I quite like that I did the darkness against the plants, because you're not going to see the soil, so you won't see that darkness. Or we've also got this one as well, but I've used that recently with Dave in his own tank. Yeah, so this is a tank I set up with Dave, and we used the black alderley there, look. So that was quite recent. I don't think I want to use that one again. The dragonstone would be quite cool, but it gets lost a little bit when you've got tons and tons of plants. I think I'm just going to go with the black cereal stone. It's a little bit more dramatic. Contrast is going to be great. Got quite a bit of it here. Some bigger pieces, so I might have to just smash it up, but that's okay. Just sharp angles anyway. Yeah, we'll go with that. So the best bet is just to lay some pieces out first and just see what you're working with. And they're all quite big, but that might work in our favour for the style of tank I'm going to go for. I mean, that one's square, so I'm going to have to do something clever with that if I need to use it. That's a cool chunk. Definitely not going to need all of them, of course, because we do want to be able to plant. So I'll probably go with, going to go with 3, to be honest, and then just pick another cereal stone that's got some darker tones but is smaller, because I don't really want to smash them up, because I know I want to use them at a later date. So as I was walking back to the tank there, I noticed something that is worth paying attention and noting to you guys. This tank's been viewed from this angle mostly, not a lot happening here because we've got the tank next to it. So I think a better bet is to actually taper it this way as well. So bring this down, because a whole like section at the side of soil, it's not the best look in the world, is it? So I've tapered it down and really sort of bring it right up this corner. Triangular composition then. And then that way, it just looks a bit better from this side.
Definitely the right tool for the job. Like a chisel sticker chisel.
So your classic sticker chisel, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Now you can spend ages messing about getting the perfect rock placement. That will look boring flat, so we can turn it that way and really get some nice angles going on. Like I say, all the soil's going to move, so we'll have to readjust it. That's very square on, so I'm going to turn it a little. And maybe this one as well. It's massive though, that's the only thing. I don't want to think about it too badly, I just want to...
Looking good.
Yeah? Maybe this one forward a little bit more. The light will be like that, which you have to remember, because obviously planting wise, it'll be a bit shaded there. Maybe like that. In a minute, these are quite similar level, so we might be able to bring it up. But at this stage, it's just getting the rocks in and having a play about, and then coming up with something decent.
Try this at home, kids.
So like a proper Brazilian style would be a little bit more like, say you've got one line of rocks coming that way, another one set behind it, so you've got like a valley coming through. Well, first of all, I don't have enough rocks to create that sort of range. And second of all, if I do that and put more rocks in, I'm going to take away planting space. So I'm trying to sort of also account for the negative areas being plants, which are also kind of like hardscape, viewing it all as one piece. So I'm kind of thinking ahead in my mind what spaces will be filled, so they might look empty now, but they won't do. So now I've sort of settled on where I like the pieces, I can actually adjust all of the soil to exactly how it needs to be. Not exactly, but you know, there or thereabouts. Get an even front, it just always looks a little bit better with these type of scapes. I'm not too worried on lots of other aquariums, but for these style it does look good when you've got a very nice and even sort of height in the foreground. So I'm really happy with how that's turned out. It's now time for planting. I've got to prep all the plants, so there's so many to get through. So there we go, there's all the foreground plants done. I've planted very densely there, but that's going to give us the best chance to start with. Now, if you can afford to use as many pots as I have there, there's like 8 pots total, then go for it. You don't have to. You could use half and it could fill in, but if you can, it will just be so much better. You'll get less algae on startup, and once all of these foreground plants start spreading the odd root or two, it's instantly going to sort of fill in the gaps and just look great straight away. So yeah, I'd say save a good portion of your budget for plants. In a tank like this, it's even better because like I've not spent a huge amount on hardscape, which means I've got more money for the plants. The plants are the main sort of thing. Kind of thinking of it as like a Dutch style aquarium, which is just all the different coloured plants, but with the rock as well. So that's everything planted up. That looks amazing. Well, it's going to look amazing. Whenever you start with the smaller plants like this, it's not as impactful straight away, but I know for a fact how good that's going to look in a couple of weeks. So I've spent about £100, which is $120, 120 euros roughly, which is a lot for plants. Like I say, you don't have to go this dense. I just want it to look as good as possible, as fast as possible, because I'm massively impatient. But I don't think that's a huge amount. You know, people spend that on a night out, wouldn't they? Anyway, I'm going to fill it up now and get the filter fitted. These are all sort of starting to dry out. I've been spraying them as I go along, but yeah, just get the water flowing, just get them growing. There's a lot of crud on the top of the water. Good little tip is you take a single piece of paper towel and you just lay it flat on top all in one go, like that. Then you just pick it up from the middle and it sort of captures a lot of it. You're not going to get all of it. Just want to scoop off some of this as well. Probably should have done this to start with Annette. She's here. But I didn't. So now we can fit the filter. Get this nice and crisp. Oh, my food's ready. So my box of tricks and old filters that I haven't used for a while. This one will work a treat, although I haven't got the top section to it. So no, we won't be using that one. But this one can be cleaned up and used because I've used it in the tank next door. It works so well. I think it's going to work well here. Plus it's got the clear inlet, which I've lost the pipe for, which will be in there somewhere.
Probably needs a clean, I would have thought.
Oh, okay, I'll clean it. Oh no, that's not gripping. There's another piece that goes in there.
Rummage, rummage, rummage. Been there for about half an hour.
Ta-da. The whole crew are back together.
What doing?
I just remembered if I put in the extra bit that has the siphon at the top, there's no way that's going to fit in the tank because we've raised the soil halfway up. So this is the wrong bit for here. There's like a bit that goes in between, which I've lost. So I've just sort of glued it in place. You still clean it because you still get down to it. Or I just snap the glue at a later point and re-glue it. It's a temp solution, okay? Like a glove. So on this one here, you can maybe see, come around Steph, look, see the scoop? So that scoop is just like a little bit of a bottle, like trimmed out and then folded over the end. I just like to do that so that when the water's flowing out, it's not going directly down, because these plants, they're not rooted yet, they'll just get fluffed out and it'll just destroy it all. So skim it across the top. It also creates a nice bit of surface agitation as well. Yeah, I just find it's a great solution.
Recyclage to the recyclage.
Those are too shallow. I need an actual water bottle. Should we just down some water?
I'm thirsty.
Too fast. So we've got a bottle of water. Now what I'm going to do, I've got a blade, nice and sharp. Just going to, this will make a horrible noise, or maybe not. Just cut it round in a circle. Oh, look at that. And then another one about that big, or as big as the outlet is in width. Straight around. And you've got that. And then you want to cut it down. And we want about half a scoop, but then we want some for the lip as well. So I'm going to cut it about there. I can always retrim it if I need to. So then we've got our scoop. But what I want to do is fold it back on itself in a nice straight line. Et voila. And then when the water flow hits it, it should sort of do that. And lift this. This will work on any hang on the back filter as well. So, and then the weight of the whole thing keeps it down. Perfect. In fact, I can push it in a little bit further. There we go. Now we can start the filter, but first of all, I need to prime the whole thing. So I have to fill it up. Okay, then we just want to fill up the reservoir. More French. So yeah, I'm filling this up with just tap water because it's all been cleaned, so it makes no odds. But if you've got an established filter, just use tank water to do it with. I mean, research apparently now shows that a little bit of tap water and chlorine on bacteria doesn't kill it straight away. It's long exposure. So if you just filled this up and started going, it's not going to kill off your filter. But why risk it? I mean, you might as well just use tank water if you've got it. And then all we've got to do is plug it in, and it should come on. It will clear out the air first, and then it will get faster and faster flow. There we go. So yeah, there's air around the impeller. Once it's pushed that through, it can pull pure water all the way through the pipes, and then it gets going. A little bit of flicking to start with, but once it's cleared out, it's absolutely silent as well. So we do have the option now of switching to the other light if we want. I do really like these lights from Superfish. I know they grow everything, but they do have more of a warmer tone. It might be interesting just to have a look at some other options, just because we've got so many colourful plants there. We might need a little bit more power and a little bit more spectrum. Okay? So we've got the Twin Star that we talked about earlier. This is their sort of lowest version. This isn't sponsor or anything. I've just got this stuff laying around. Like, I haven't used it for ages because I normally just use the basic ones, but we're going for a lot of colour in this tank. So I'll try this one. If not, I might just switch it out for this one, which is one of their high-powered ones. But look at all the different coloured. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but we've got full colours of LED under there. I think that might work an absolute treat. Sorry, guys, they're going crazy now. They're like, where's the food? You're here. There's no food. Let's try this first. Okay. I don't like it. Do you know what I mean, Steph? It's got a very, like, purpley tone to it. Yeah. The rocks look purple now. They don't look grey and black, do they?
Yeah, that kind of monotone from the background and the rock is lost. So it's made the rocks too colourful, basically.
Yeah. Maybe try the proper Twin Star. Right, now it's just if this fits between the filter gap.
Fingers crossed.
It looks like it will. Oh, there's like 2 millimeters of gap. Perfect. I think this will be the best one for sure. Okay, we ready? The camera might go a bit nuts. I think that's it.
Yeah, it looks a lot better. Less purpley.
Less purpley. I think I'll go with that. All right, see you in a few weeks. Right, it's been a month, and as you can see, the tank looks fantastic. Now, in those previous clips, you can see that I've done a ton of water changes, and that's literally only half of them that I've done that I've filmed. I've been doing water changes like you wouldn't believe, because we have got very high lighting on the tank and no CO2. So would I recommend the method I've just done to get it here? Only if you're so committed. I don't think anyone wants a fish tank for that level of work, like every other day, almost full water changes. It's tons and tons of work, but it does mean that you can get to this point now where the plants are growing so well, so tall, with really high-powered lighting and a few clean-up crew in there. We've added some Amano shrimp and there's a snail collection going on, so that's really helped now with bringing the algae down. Without those in there, every single day would just be covered. You can see some of the algae on the rock there. So can you get your plants looking this great without CO2 and high lighting? Yes, you can, but you should expect an absolute ton of work in the process. So yeah, it looks beautiful and perfectly doable. If we had CO2 in here though, it'd make everything so much easier and it would grow way, way faster as well. I probably would have already had to have done a trim up and a replant. So yeah, I'd fully recommend that if you're going for this look with tons and tons of the plants, get yourself a little CO2 kit. It's gonna make things 10 times easier, but if you're willing to put the work in, and you can do it without it as well. And to be honest, we're at a point now where all the plants are just high enough that like we'll get double growth, if you know what I mean. It'll start to take off a lot now. And if there's full CO2 system, proper pressurized and everything like that, then all of this hair grass would have grown in a lot more dense by now as well. So there's definitely a case of this style with CO2 makes things way easier and way faster. But if you're willing to just, wait like I have and do a ton of work, you can still get something that looks beautiful without it. Oh, little snail just got caught in the whirlpool. So this tank here I did with Dave from Aquarium Gardens is a great example of that. Down at the bottom here, we've got a full-on pressurized CO2 system, and just look at the hair grass and how dense it is. Look at that root system. Obviously this is way longer, but within 3 weeks it was like that. So yeah, it does make a difference, but it's not essential. I would definitely recommend it though, because if there was a newbie coming to set this up, they would not have anything like as good experience like this. Maybe they would if they did enough research and learning, but like there's periods where it looks awful and you think, oh, I just need to restart. But I persevered through that and just kept doing the glass cleaning, kept doing the rock cleaning, keeping the faith, adding the algae at the right time. And now we've got this point here where I think it looks really, really beautiful, especially with the background, and we're ready to put some cool fish in as well. So we can now go. We can go to Maidenhead Aquatics. Like I say, the tank's all cycled and everything, the filter's all good. We're ready to put fish in straight away. I'm not entirely sure what I want yet, but I want something small and schooly. Like, I think the fish can be quite simple in here because we've got such a chaotic look with all of the different coloured plants and things. Let's go see what they got.
On the road again.
Hello, welcome back to Maidenhead Aquatics Taunton. That's not in Taunton. We haven't actually gone anywhere.
We just walked from over there.
And we're here filming, picking. Don't spoil I'm trying to trick the audience to thinking it's a separate visit. So we're here picking up the plecos that you've seen in the previous video, but whilst we're here, we might as well pick up the fish that we need for this tank, and it's going to be the strawberry rasboras.
Yep. Nice species of Raspora.
Yeah.
Similar to the chili Rasboras, slightly pinker in coloration compared to the deeper red that you get on the chilies, and that nice bright spot on the side of them rather than that sort of deep emerald green stripe.
Do you know what I'm really liking about it? And I don't know whether it's because we're all in Nova, but they seem to school really tight.
Yeah.
I think that's going to look great.
The group that Owen's got in his display tank, they group really, really well.
Yeah, that's where I saw them first, and the kids thought they were baby guppies, so I'm like, no.
I can see where that's coming from, yeah. Similar, yeah. I'll give them that.
I think all of them would be good, because the tank is double the size of this,
Yeah.
and if I get that action, well, leave a few for people that want to. You can order them again, can't you?
Yeah, they come from a supplier that I use quite regularly these days, so.
Sweet. Okay, yeah, definitely want those. I think just those for this one. It'll look really cool with the plants and just this one school of fish, which is something I never do.
Just a single species.
Yeah, it's kind of like just accenting the tank and the plants and the hardscape we've got going on then, and it's not too distracting, but yeah, I think definitely go with that.
Perfect.
Cool, bag them up. So we're back at the studio, and the fish, we've had them now for about a week, maybe something like that, but they're in the holding tanks. This is the holding tank section. And if you look in here, you can see there's quite a few of them. So we went for a really, really good number. Not too many, but they're gonna act as a really nice school in that tank. Like I said, I didn't want it too distracting from the tank itself. And I went for just the one species, just as like a real showcase to the smallest fish in the world. I don't know how factually correct that is, but it's the smallest ones I've ever seen, put it that way. They're like Chiliosporas, but even smaller, some of them as well. Maybe that's an age thing, but they're from exactly the same family, so it makes sense. So what I need to do now is actually take out the decor. None of it's like locked in or planted, so I can take that out, scoop the fish out, put them in a pot, stick them in. Oh my goodness, that couldn't have gone any better. I think I got every single one.
So tiny.
Yeah, I literally got every single one in one swoop. That's never happened before.
All in one.
That's like rare.
Hello.
Whoa. They're not even in this. I don't know why. Right, I've put all the fish in this little tub. It's just way better for a release. Get them all in one go. Be interested to see what they do. I'm hoping they don't just all hide in the rocks. And all the temperatures match, by the way. This is the same temperature as where they've come from, so we don't need to worry about that. Oh my goodness. There's still loads. Come on, out you come. All right, yeah, that's good. That's a good amount. I was thinking maybe it's not enough for this bigger tank, but they're schooling instantly. That is cool. So some people might be thinking, well, how are the plants pearling? Like, you will always get plants pearling if you've got a lot of them and high lighting. You don't even need CO2 for it to happen. It'll happen a lot more with CO2, but I've also done a water change recently, which also helps, doesn't it? Like, you're re-bubblifying the water, if you like. They look so cool, especially when they're on the reflection of the glass. It looks like this double. So like I say, if you want to go for a style like this, and you don't want to use CO2, be prepared to do an absolute ton of work, which is completely against what I usually do. But I wanted to really try it in this tank. You can do it. I wouldn't recommend it.
It's been a labour of love.
Yeah, and well, I would recommend it if you want to do the work. So if you've got one tank, definitely go for it. But the amount of work I put into this tank versus every other tank in the studio, it's like tenfold. But you have got the results. So, you know, if you're willing to put that effort in, you can get insanely good results. It might be interesting to actually add some CO2 now and see what we can do differently. If you notice the stems, they're quite sort of, like the Rotala HR is quite sort of spaced out, and that's how it grows when it hasn't got CO2. But when you've got proper CO2 going in, they grow a lot more compact because they don't have to reach for the light so much. They're just growing left and right. You're trimming them, so you're getting offshoots and doubling up, basically. The foreground will be a just solid block of green. You get the Monte Carlo creeping up into that section where there's some plants missing. So yeah, it might be interesting just to add some on this and just keep it going and see what we can get. I don't know, I'll have a think about it. I might leave it for a bit longer and just see how it's doing, because I'd rather not if I don't have to. But I don't also want to keep having to do the amount of work to it that I have been. Just, it's a lot.
I vote leave it.
I reckon we should leave it. Yeah.
Because you've gone to this effort.
And
it feels a shame to suddenly cut a corner.
It's kind of, yeah, I see what you mean. Like, you'll view it as cutting a corner, Steph, because you're not used to anyone using CO2. But in the aquascaping world of this look, they only use CO2. Maybe that's another good reason not to then.
Yeah, just to show that it's achievable without it. But
yeah,
it looks amazing.
It'll never look as dense as if you do use CO2. But like, because we've got like the Wallichi over there that's like fine leafed, it does kind of add a density to it. Also, we used so many of the Denale plants, you know, to start with. So the plant density was really, really tight as well from the in vitro cups, which does work really well if you're willing to wait. But you do have to wait, obviously, to start with. There was barely anything, and it looks poor. Like the initial fill up, you're like, it doesn't look great.
Anything you plant, you have to wait for.
Yeah, I'm not used to that.
You're not.
But I am glad. I mean, I did know this would happen because I have done it before. I didn't actually expect it to look this good, I'm not going to lie. The twin star lighting is helping massively in terms of how the plants are looking, for sure. That looks so cool, doesn't it?
Yeah, they're getting
Used to their ball.
they're scoping out their
Territory.
new environment. I'm liking it.
Cool.
I'd say they like it.
Yeah, they do. Hopefully they keep doing this. This is so cool.
Yeah, it looks amazing. They've all got smiles on their faces.
Oh yeah. There we go. Hope you enjoyed this one. A little bit different to the usual style of like big round plants straight away, but I like to show sort of all aspects of the hobby. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, leave me a like and a subscribe maybe. I'm nearly at 1 million. That would be great. And I'll see you on the next one.